Hello everyone, welcome back. In our previous video, we have already discussed about the structure of the pituitary gland and we also discussed about the introduction to hormones as well. So now we are going to be discussing about the hormones which are going to be produced by the anterior and the posterior lobe of the pituitary gland. So in the previous video itself, the role of the intermediate lobe was completed. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be discussing only about the hormones which are produced by the anterior and the posterior pituitary. Okay, so now let's begin with the anterior pituitary. So anterior pituitary is a large lobe. So as you know already, it's a large lobe. And anterior pituitary is going to be producing hormones which are basically stimulating hormones, which means the anterior pituitary will produce some hormone and that hormone will in turn act on some other endocrine gland and make that endocrine gland to release another hormone. Okay, so this also we have discussed already, but just as a recapitulation I am telling you all this. So now let's take a look at what are the various different hormones which are produced by the anterior pituitary. So the first hormone is the GH. So what is GH? I will write the names of the hormones here for you. Okay. So GH is the growth hormone. So where is this growth hormone going to act on? So this growth hormone acts on bones, it acts on muscles and it also acts on cartilage. Okay, so it's going to act on bones, muscles as well as cartilage. So this growth hormone is going to play a very important role in the development of a person. For a person to grow, this hormone is very much needed. Okay, and that is going to be produced from the anterior pituitary. Now, what will happen if the growth hormone level increases or decreases? So, if the growth hormone level, first we'll talk about decreasing. So, decrease in the level of growth hormone in children will lead to a condition which is known as dwarfism. Okay, so I mentioned specifically in children. Okay, so decrease in the growth hormone level in case of children will lead to condition known as dwarfism. So dwarf means short. Okay, so here people who are children especially who are not having sufficient amount of growth hormone released into their body will have stunted growth, which means they are going to be short and then they will have mental retardation and they will also be having delayed development of their bones. Okay, so that is dwarfism. Now the next is what will happen if there is increase in the production of growth hormone again in children only. So we are going to talk again in children only. So increase in the growth hormone in case of children will lead to a condition which is known as gigantism. So what is this gigantism? So in case of gigantism, the child is going to be growing more. He is going to look taller than the people of his age group. Okay. So a child who is suffering from gigantism will be taller than the children of his age group. Okay. So what does this growth hormone do? So increase in the production of growth hormone by the anterior pituitary will lead to elongation of the bones. Then the next one is increased level of growth hormone in case of adults. So what will happen if there is an increased amount of growth hormone in case of adults? It will lead to a condition which is known as acromegaly. So in case of acromegaly, again same thing only, here also the person is going to be having abnormal growth. He is going to be taller and he is going to have an abnormal height as well. So acromegaly will lead to enlargement of the face bones and the bones of the feet and hands as well. Okay. So I was telling increased production of growth hormone, decreased production of growth hormone and all those things. If any hormone is produced lesser than the required amount, then we will call it as hyposecretion. Okay. Then if it is produced in more than the normal range, if the hormone is going to be released more than the normal requirement, then we will call it as hypersecretion. Okay. So a hyposecretion of growth hormone will lead to dwarfism. Okay, and hypersecretion of growth hormone will lead to gigantism, and hypersecretion of growth hormone in adults will lead to acromegaly. Okay, so these two conditions are relating to the problem in the growth hormone secretion in children and not in adults. Only acromegaly is for adults. Okay, so I hope you understood growth hormone. Now let's take a look at the next hormone. So the next hormone which is produced by the anterior pituitary is TSH. So what is this TSH? So TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay. So this thyroid stimulating hormone is going to act on the thyroid gland. So it will, you know that thyroid gland is again one more endocrine gland. So it will act on the thyroid gland. So thyroid stimulating, what is the meaning of stimulating? It is going to go there and it is going to stimulate the thyroid gland. So the thyroid stimulating hormone will act on the thyroid gland and it will stimulate the thyroid gland to produce the thyroid hormones. Okay. So it will stimulate the thyroid glands to produce the thyroid hormone. So there are two different hormones which are produced by the thyroid gland. When we discuss about thyroid gland in detail, that time we will take a look at thyroid hormones. Now moving on to the next hormone which is produced by the anterior pituitary. The next hormone is PRL. Okay. So PRL is prolactin. Prolactin is also called as the lactogenic hormone. Okay. So prolactin will act on the mammary glands. It will act on the mammary glands of females, and during pregnancy the prolactin hormone is going to help in the development of the mammary gland, and it is also going to stimulate the production of milk. Okay. So why is milk production happening during pregnancy? Because after pregnancy the mother has to feed the child. Okay. So for that the prolactin hormone during pregnancy will help in the development of the mammary gland, and it will also stimulate the production of the milk. Okay. Now let's move on to the next hormone which is produced by the anterior pituitary, and that is ACTH. Okay. So what is this ACTH? So ACTH is adrenocorticotropic hormone. So I will write the name of the fourth hormone here. It's adrenocorticotropic hormone. So what is the work of this adrenocorticotropic hormone ACTH? It will act on the adrenal gland. Okay. So adrenal gland is again one more endocrine gland. So it will act on the adrenal gland and it will make the adrenal gland to release its hormones. Okay. So especially in the adrenal gland, ACTH is going to act on adrenal cortex. Okay. So I will tell you what is adrenal cortex and the different layers which are present in the adrenal gland when we discuss about that as an endocrine gland in detail. Okay. So ACTH will act on the adrenal gland and it will make the adrenal gland to release its hormones, which are the corticoids. Okay. Now let's take a look at the next hormone. The next hormone which is produced by the anterior pituitary is the GTH. GTH is gonadotropin hormone. Gonadotropic hormone. Okay. So when I told gonadotropic hormone, by then you must have realized where it is going to act on. Okay. Gonads are the testis in case of males and ovary is in the case of the females. So the gonadotropic hormones which are produced by the anterior pituitary are going to act on the gonads. Okay. That is in the testis and in the ovary. Okay. So now let's see what are the gonadotropic hormones. So there are two different gonadotropic hormones. Okay. So there are two different gonadotrophic hormone. One is FSH. Okay, so I will write the names of the hormones here. Okay, so FSH. FSH is follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, and the next hormone is LH. LH. Okay, so LH is luteinizing hormone. Okay, so both of these hormones are going to be present in case of males as well as in females. Okay, so you cannot say only FSH will be present in males or only LH will be present in males. It's not like that. Gonadotrophic hormones, okay, so they are going to be there in both men as well as in women. Okay, and both FSH and LH will act in case of the testis as well as the ovaries. So now let's see what is the function of FSH in ovary as well as the testis. Okay, so FSH in the ovary. So this is the ovary. So what does FSH do in the ovary? So inside the ovary, a lot of follicles will be there. Okay, so follicles are the immature ovum. Ovum is the reproductive cell of a woman. Okay, so or the gamete of a woman. FSH will act on the follicles and it will make the follicles to develop into a mature ovum. Okay, so FSH, the follicle stimulating hormone, will stimulate the follicles which are present in the ovary in order to develop. Okay, so what is FSH going to do in the testis? So what is FSH going to do in the testis? What is the role of FSH in the testis? So the role of FSH in the testis is, it is going to help during spermatogenesis. So what is spermatogenesis? Spermatogenesis is the formation of the male gamete, which is the sperm. So for the formation of the sperm, FSH hormone is needed. Okay, now let's see what is the function of LH. What is the function of LH in testes as well as the ovaries? So LH, which is the luteinizing hormone, will act on the ovaries. For what? So I told you that FSH is important in the ovary for developing that follicle into an ovum. Am I right? Now for this ovum to get released out of the ovary. Now the ovum has to get released out of the ovary, right? So this ovum to get released out of the ovary, LH is required. So only when luteinizing hormone is there, the mature ovum will get released out of the ovary. Is that okay? And LH will also act on the ovaries to produce the female sex hormone, which is estrogen and progesterone. Okay? So, LH is important for the release of the ovum, and LH is also needed for the production of the female sex hormones, which are the estrogen and the progesterone. Okay. Now next let's take a look at what is the role of LH in the testis. So in the testis there will be cells which are known as the Leydig cells. Okay. So testis has got cells which are known as the Leydig cells. So this LH hormone will act on the testis, okay, especially the Leydig cells which are there in the testis, and it will make the Leydig cells to produce the hormone testosterone. Okay. So it will make LH will make the Leydig cells to produce the hormone which is known as testosterone. This hormone also is important for the development of secondary sexual characters in male. Okay, so this is about the hormones which are produced by the anterior pituitary. Now let's take a look at the hormones which are produced by the posterior pituitary. So the posterior part of the pituitary produces only two hormones. One is ADH, and the other one is oxytocin. So these are the two hormones which are going to be produced by the posterior pituitary. So what is this ADH? ADH is antidiuretic hormone, or this hormone is also called as vasopressin. So this ADH hormone, it will act on the kidney tubules. Okay, so it's going to act on the kidney tubules. So by acting on the kidney tubules, what is it going to do? It will absorb the water. Okay, so the work of antidiuretic hormone is to absorb the water from the kidney tubules. Okay, because water is something which is essential inside our body, and every cell also requires water. So we cannot afford to eliminate all the water which is there inside our body in the form of urine. So in order to overcome this problem, this ADH hormone will absorb the water back into the body. Okay, so that is the work of the ADH hormone, which will absorb the water within the kidney tubules, and it will also reduce the amount of water which is lost in the form of urine. And deficiency of this hormone or lack of this hormone, deficiency of ADH, will lead to a condition which is known as diabetes insipidus. So it will lead to a condition which is known as diabetes insipidus, where the person will frequently urinate. Okay, so because there is the lack of this hormone is responsible for absorbing the water. So when this hormone is not there, more amount of urine output is going to be there. Okay, so that condition is only known as diabetes insipidus. So people who are experiencing frequent urination is known as polyuria. That condition by which the people are eliminating urine frequently is known as polyuria. Okay, so this was about ADH. Moving on to the next hormone which is produced by the posterior pituitary, and that is oxytocin. So this oxytocin will act on the uterus. So it will act on the uterus of the female. Okay, so why should it act on the uterus? And when will it act on the uterus? So actually this oxytocin hormone will be released during parturition. So what is parturition? Parturition means childbirth. So this hormone will be released during when the child is supposed to be born. Okay, so during childbirth, this hormone will be released, and what is it going to do? This hormone will bring about contraction of the uterus. Okay, so when the uterus contracts, you know very well that the baby is going to be developing inside the uterus. So when the uterus contracts, then only the baby can be expelled out. Okay, so in order to bring about the expulsion of the baby outside the uterus, oxytocin is needed. So oxytocin will act on the smooth muscles of the uterus, and it will bring about contraction of the uterus during parturition. And one more role is also there. So oxytocin also acts on the mammary gland. Okay, so we have discussed that prolactin is a hormone that is produced by the anterior pituitary, and that is involved in the production of milk. Am I right? So what is the role of oxytocin now? Only if oxytocin is there, the produced milk can be ejected out of the mammary gland. So for the ejection of milk from the mammary gland, oxytocin is needed. Okay, and oxytocin is also called as the love hormone. So the reason why it is known as love hormone is because it is going to create a bonding. When a child is born, it is going to be creating a bonding between a love between the mother and the child. So that is why it is known as the love hormone. Okay, so this is about the hormones which are produced by the pituitary gland. So I hope you understood all the concepts which I've taught in this video so far. Thank you so much for watching.